If you can hear me, press 1, and if you can see me, press 2. If you can hear me, press 1, and if you can see me, press 2. Welcome, welcome. Man, wherever you at, boys and girls, men and women, you're at the right place at the right time. My name is Ken Billions. If you didn't know, it's a pleasure to meet you. If this is our first time, I hope I can say something to spark you to come back and we can be friends. If you're returning, then you already know what I do here, what we do here. When you come in, go ahead and give the stream a good like for the algorithm, one time for the one time, and welcome to Heaven on Earth, the number one home for gossip, tea, no, right? The number one home for personal development, man. This is ministry for the abstract mind, and it's a safe space for everybody out there that has an out-the-box philosophy. Over here at Heaven on Earth, we don't believe you have to die in order to get to heaven. No, shit, hell no. All you have to do is be real, reflective, enlightened, accountable, but most importantly, limitless. And I've been making this promise for the last couple years, and I haven't lied about this. I kept my word about this promise, that personal development is for everybody. I said this during the last administration. I'm going to say it again during this administration. I don't care who's in office. I don't care if a comet is coming to burn us up. I don't care. I don't care if it's the wintertime. I don't care if it's the summertime. I don't care if you're in Africa. I don't care if you're in Bosnia, New York, Philly, LA, Texas. Personal development is for everybody. Period. We're going to go somewhere today. We're going to take a walk. We're going to go in and we're going to go out. And the purpose of this message is so you walk out here extraordinary. You come in ordinary, but you're going to leave extraordinary. Today, I want to talk about something very important that we don't lift the hood on a lot of times. We hear this word, but we don't do a deep dive on it of like, how does it work and how does it really look? So today I want to lift the hood on a word and I want to give it nuance, right? And I want to make the word more practical, and I want you to have a better understanding of the word. We're going to take a more deep dive in the word alchemy. Like, what is it, yo? What is alchemy? How does it work? What do you do with it? Is everybody capable of alchemy? Where does this shit come from? Right? So the alchemy is based on the Philosopher's Stone. It is a legendary alchemical substance believed to transmute base metals into gold and create an elixir of life for immortality and rejuvenation. Typically, though, when we talk about alchemy, we are talking about physical alchemy, being able to change our physical reality, being able to go from the projects to a mansion, from a whack-ass relationship to the love of your life, from riding the bus to Benz whipping, right? That's usually the way that we define alchemy. We don't oftentimes look at alchemy as from going from bad health to good health. We don't look at alchemy as going from carrying heavy weight to trimming down. We don't oftentimes look at alchemy of in one picture during one season, you skinny as hell, and then the next season, you got muscles on you. We tend to don't look at alchemy from that perspective. we focus on outward alchemy. We focus on material alchemy, which is hella natural because we're in America. So it's all about things and stuff, right? But things and stuff is not the real alchemy. Houses is not the real alchemy. Cars is not the real alchemy, right? Gold chains, BBLs, fake tits, glasses, shoes. That's not the real alchemy. You can add those things on the scoreboard, but that's not the real alchemy. Being able to change how you look, right? Starting from the inside, reflecting outside, that's the real alchemy, right? Being able to change your emotions from one state to another state, that's real alchemy. And what we're going to talk about right now is inner alchemy. The secrets of inner alchemy, right? So buckle your seats. Go ahead and hit your vape. Go ahead and put your phone on do not disturb, because I want to let you know that, yes, true, that the universe is mental, hella mental. That's what the Kabbalion teaches us. But we're in the Aquarius age, and the Aquarius age is about enlightenment. So the universe is mental, but the earth is emotional. The universe is mental, true, but this planet is emotional. What's my proof that the planet is emotional? When we look at ancient people and they had a connection to the trees, they had a connection to wildlife. They're not using logic, right? They didn't control animals. They moved in tune with the animals. The lion will spaz at any time. The tiger will spaz at any time. But them being in tune with the lions and the tigers and the bears. Oh my, them being in tune wasn't based on anything logical. It was based on feeling, right? So when you come out of the ice, right, your thing is logic. Your thing is order, okay? So when people came from the north, invaders, these people come from cold climates. So in their conquering, they took people out of their emotions and they put them into logic. Now, I've been a logic individual my whole life. My bookshelf is full of psychology shit. My bookshelf is full of 48 laws of power, how to influence friends. You know, my bookshelf is full of very above the neck things, right? And I was able to navigate the last 20 years using logic, using like strategies and being able to move people from one place to another, right? But while I was doing that at the expense of something else. I was doing that at the expense of my heart. Now, the analog world, the world that we came from, the world before the digital world, it looks like it was about logic. It looks like it was about mind stuff. But the Aquarius age is about enlightenment. The Aquarius age is not about logic. The Aquarius age is not about the mind. The universe is mental, but the earth is emotional. You got to feel your way through this shit, right? So this is a time to be in your feelings. However, the same way you would think about thinking, you need to feel your feelings. So it is a time right now you must be in your feelings, right? Knowing is not about mind shit. Knowing is about feeling. Knowing is about something coming from the inside of you, right? Now that's a shift for me, right? Because I've been a mind person. I've been a mental person. I've been a strategy person. I've been a chess person. But that's not the Aquarius age. You got to feel your way around this shit. You have to be more flexible, right? You have to be more fluid, especially men. All the men in the world that are having a difficult time in the world are having a difficult time because you're in your mind, right? And that's not the place to be, right? Being tolerant of other people's lifestyles, that's a feeling. You know what I'm saying? When we look at the environment, what we done to the trees, what we done to the water, that's not a feeling. You know what I'm saying? When we watch Avatar, right? Damn, what is their name? Gosh, I forgot their name. The blue people in Avatar. Does it look like they're in logic or does it look like they're in feeling? Right? So before we ever activated logic as a species, we were in feelings, right? When a mother senses that her babies are in danger, that's not logic doing that, because logic has boundaries. And where we're going, especially as artificial intelligence takes over and we get deeper and deeper into automation and deeper into the future, we're not going to be able to logic our way through this. We're going to have to feel our way through this. However, you must feel your feelings. Okay? So this is about inner alchemy. So the universe is mental. The Kabbalion is right and exact. It's a mental universe, but it is an emotional world. It is an emotional earth. For you to get some money right now, you got to feel it. For you to navigate this shit, I don't care who's the president or where you're at, you're going to have to feel it. You're going to have to feel your way around. You're going to have to move like Denzel in the Book of Eli. You're going to have to move with a different kind of sight. You're going to have to turn your mind off. The 48 laws of power will not get you through this new season. Don't outshine the master. Be a spy. Pose as a friend, but work as a spy. That ain't going to work, fam. That's not going to work. And let me tell you what I mean by that's not going to work. You may get some things and stuff, but it's going to be at the expense of your health because we're not in that season. The only way to compete with robots and these Boston Dynamics and all this technology is you have to use something that they don't have yet. You can't outthink them. So that's how you know mind shit is over with, because we have produced things on the planet that can use intelligence in a way that we can't. So the only way to counter that is to use something that the AI can't use, and that is the heart. The AI cannot use the heart. That's not what they're programming the AI for. They're programming the AI to be super intelligent. Okay? So the only way that we can scale all these new creations in terms of technology is to perform in a way that the technology cannot perform yet. It does not have intuition. Okay? The AI is data-driven, full of stuff, right? Full of stuff, full of facts, a bunch of facts, okay? But it can't feel. It can't feel, right? So when we scan our environment and we're doing pattern recognition, we're going to have to do it in a different way. We're going to have to open up our heart. Now, man, I got videos up from years ago. I was a cold nigga when it came to mind shit, right? But some of the changes that have happened to me, it's not the season for that. We must evolve, okay? So what the mind can do when we use it is the mind can give order to our creativity, right? For example, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. I'm going to do this. So you come up with something creative, and then you use the mind to give order to the creativity. But navigating with the mind, no, we got to navigate with the heart and use the mind when it's time to give our creativity structure. And we have to give the creativity structure so we can hit our targets with a full burst, because too much creativity is chaos. That's all chaos is creativity. Shit going crazy. Look at babies, right? They look chaotic, but it's just creativity. They're going to write on your walls, right? They're going to put the pamper on the floor with poop in it, right? They're going to dig in their nose. They're going to pull the damn food off the table. It looks chaotic, but only thing they're doing is being creative. You know what I'm saying? So the universe is mental. Okay? The universe is mental, but the earth is emotional. So I believe that the earth is emotional. Okay? I believe that inside of the earth, we represent the universe. We have a universe inside of us. Okay? So, source, or what you call God, God is a lesser version of source, because God has limitations. So that's why God has desires and ego, right? And God cares about how you get married. And God has a chosen people. That's not source, right? That is a very limited scope on something that is beyond our human understanding, right? So source, I'm not even going to give it a name, because when you name something, that means you can count it. If you can count it, it's not infinity. So I'm saying source just to describe something that is beyond language. For source to work for us, it comes through us, right? Just like people that are on the planet, where did they come from? They come through us. Nothing is coming from in the sky. Nothing is coming from in the ground. Everything that we are looking for is going to come through us. Okay? Enlightenment happens on the inside and it reflects outwardly. Enlightenment is not something that is going on the outside of us. Enlightenment is going on the inside of us. Enlighten, even though it's spelled E-N, it's really I-N. It's enlightened, okay? Enlightenment, not outlightenment. Let me tell you what outlightenment is. Being woke, right? Being woke is out of light. You have in light and out of light. Being woke is about a bunch of information, right? Being aware. You need to know what's going on. Why do I need to know what's going on? Going on about what? Your hard drive is going to burn out with too much information. Why is it important? Right? Why is it important? Why is it important for when you're watching the news? Why is it important for you to know who passed away? Right? Why is it important for you to know celebrities' business? Why is it important for you to know Stephon Diggs and Cardi B had a baby, right? Why is it important to know these kind of things? It really ain't. You know what I'm saying? So being woke and a lot of activism, I'm going to keep it a buck with you, is out of light. You're not enlightened, you're out of light. Because in this period, all activism has to be turned inward. You want to bring a government down? You're not going to do it by any physical behavior. You have to do it through psychic powers, right? You have to consider some things that you've never considered before. You know what I'm saying? You have to consider some things that you've never considered before. So the way that we typically go about our dealings is we march and we protest and we picket and we complain and we vote and we do all those things, but we never approach the things that we have an issue with from a psychic perspective. Even when we are praying that something on the outside of us does something to the things that are outside of us. So, God, please make a way against the government, against the system, right? So we're praying to something outside of us, that the thing on the outside of us deals with the other thing that is on the outside of us. But right now in the Aquarius age, to tackle the things on the outside of us, we go on the inside of us, right? Any conflict, any bully, anything that is looking like it is in our way, the way that you deal with it is you go on the inside. You take that same problem, you take that same conflict, and you bring it inwardly, right? Not from a perspective of focusing on it as if it's a problem. No, you bring it to the world in here and deal with it here. You can't win this outside shit. You can't win that. That is a different type of magic, and you can't play that game. So if you try to beat this thing, this system, right? If you try to beat it playing by those rules, you're going to lose. Right? So how do we approach money? I need to get money. Do we ever say I am money? Right? How do we approach marriage? I need to get marriage. Do we ever say I am married? Right? Do we ever look at ourselves as the thing that we think we're apart from? No, because we approach it from logic. Logic tells us that the thing is separate from us. So I need to do something to get money. I need to do something to find a husband. I need to do something to find a wife. I need to do something. I need to do labor to get the thing that's on the outside of me, instead of looking at the thing on the outside of me, looking at it as I am the same as that. Remember, in the Matrix, Neo said, the boy said, what spoon? What spoon? The reason why you can't bend the spoon is because you think it's a spoon, right? That's logic. Logic tends to separate us from things, but we are made of all the shit on the planet. There is no disconnect. The same things that's inside of the phones that we have is inside of us. The same fruits and vegetables we eat, that stuff is inside of us. All the chemicals and everything that's on the planet is on the inside of us. So how can we pray for the things that, how can we pray for a house when what the house is made of is already on the inside of us? Same properties, right? But logic tells us that house is separate from us. Okay, cool. So since the way to get that house is to deal with that house on the inside of me. You know what I mean? Okay. So remember, the universe is mental. The planet is emotions, right? When you go to the beach and you see when you see the wave move back and forth, would you call that logic or would you call that emotion? That force, right? That force that is controlling that tide. Do you think that's logic or do you think that's emotions? Right? Huh? Do you think that's logic or emotions? When you look at photosynthesis, when you look at plants growing, would you say that's logic or would you say that's emotion? When you are sun gazing, do you feel like you're having a logical experience or an emotional experience? When you take your socks off and you put your feet directly in the sand and in the dirt and you're grounding, would you say that is an emotional experience or a logical experience? If you have dogs, if you have rabbits, if you have birds, if you are an animal lover, your connection with your animals, is that a logical experience or an emotional experience? So Part of being conquered is to separate us from the natural world and put us in the normal world. What is normal? Patriarchy is normal. Capitalism is normal. Patriarchy is not natural. Capitalism is not natural. Communism is not natural, right? So we have been dealing with the normal, not the natural, right? And because we have been dealing with the normal and not the natural, many of us, myself included, have been stripped of abilities that we have, and we only tend to look at ourselves as one way. Yo, think about it. How is it possible to have financial problems? Something is going on with me. If I am having issues with energy, something is going on with me, because that's all money is. Energy. How do you know? You go get a loan, they type something on the computer, and all of a sudden that shit appears in your account. Where did it come from? Right? So if I'm having a problem with those numbers, something is going on the inside of me. I have downloaded some type of belief systems. I have a blockage somewhere that is blocking me from that, because all that is energy. That's all it is. So if I am having issues with that, there's something happening with me on an energetic level that is keeping me away from that. Right? You can't find a person. Like, the earth produces people. So there can't be a problem in dating. There has to be a problem in my energy. Most people are monogamous, so you're only looking for one person. Right? Most people don't have the issue of you're trying to have a bunch of people. Now that's harder. Most people only want one person. Cool. For you to struggle with finding one person, that means there's something going on in your energy. There's not a problem with dating. There's a problem in energy, right? Because for real, if you're in California and the other person is in Florida, right? Based on your energy being a certain kind of way, y'all both gonna be in Houston this weekend, right? How do y'all don't cross paths? You want what they want. They want what you want. How do y'all not cross paths? Right? He want to be in a relationship. You want to be in a relationship. Y'all got the same goals. You got the same background, same value system, right? But one of y'all has hardwired beliefs that are not in line with theirs. Everything else is cool. So while y'all might be in the same damn bar, right? And the thing that makes y'all not cross paths is one thing: belief. One of y'all have a different belief, right? A belief is a vibration. So you repelled that individual away. All you had to do was change your belief. And now we're talking about resonance. So their belief matches up with your belief. That's resonance. It's the same shit that when Mariah Carey sings at a certain pitch, she could crack glass. That's resonance. We got the same chemicals going on inside of us. So we're looking for the resonance, right? I like you. You like me? Yeah. What is that? Resonance, attraction, right? It's not just we're physically attracted to each other. There is something going on the inside of us that is attracted to something that is going on the inside of them. We're carrying around many universes, right? So the universe is mental, but the earth is emotional. So we put a lot of focus and attention on changing our physical world, right? But we don't put the same focus and attention on our inner world. We don't put our same focus and attention on changing our states. So when we say a lot, that's just how I am, or, when we are committed to these emotions that we have, right? We don't know that we can change the state. So we got a new year coming up, and everybody's kind of gonna do the same kind of. See, even stuff like that, right? That's filler. That's filler, right? Because kind of is not what I really mean. That's logic right there. We don't say what we really mean. So we have a lot of filler shit in our language. Kinda, little, maybe. Like, what does all that shit mean? You know what I'm saying? So I can hear myself like, I don't mean kinda. I don't even know what that means. Right? So let me just go to straight physical. No, let me go to inner alchemy. The emotions. I've went through this all year, right? I went through situations where I have these interesting feelings that I'm feeling that I never felt before. And it was very hard to name these feelings, right? I know anger. It felt like anger, but this is something different. And I didn't have the language for it, right? It was powerful feelings. The best way that I could describe some of the feelings is sometimes it's anxiety, sometimes it was depression, sometimes it was feelings of, man, I'm feeling like I'm betrayed. I'm feeling like I'm being neglected. I'm feeling that I'm not good enough. I'm feeling that my time has passed me. I'm feeling all these things, right? The same way that you come in your crib and you ain't feeling that shit and you're like, yo, I need to move. I need to do something. I need to get out of here. I need to change my environment. And then boom, you do. You change the environment, right? Okay. You can also do that with the emotional states. You can move the emotion from one place to another and change the texture of the emotion. Okay? You don't have to stay in anger. You can move anger over here and turn anger into something else, right? Both. Anger is a creative energy because you see what it can do, right? But the thing with anger, you oftentimes don't like the outcome and you don't like what it does to you, right? So you have the ability to change the state of anger and bring it over to the other side into something, into an energy that you want to get positive outcomes from. Okay. So a lot of times this year, specifically 2025, I don't know what it was with this year. I mean, I cried like a baby. I just was feeling so many things, right? And I had to do work on myself that I've never done before. I always was focused on thinking differently. I never was focused on feeling differently. Oftentimes, people will ask us how we feel, and we'll tell them what we think. How you feeling today? And we'll tell them what we think, right? That's me for sure. If you ask me how I was feeling, I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking, right? So this year, I had to move energy in my body around that I've never had to do before. I had to replace fear with courage, right? I had to do inner alchemy. So these lower feelings that I had of not being good enough, of imposter syndrome, of betrayal, of hatred, of jealousy, of being insecure, of anxiety. When it comes to the philosopher's stone, those feelings would be the base metals. Remember, the philosopher's stone, the legend of it in alchemy is turning base metals and leads into gold, right? So imagine I got this rusty piece of metal in my hand. The legend of the philosopher's stone is turning this rusty piece of metal or lead, right? Let's call it low vibration, low vibrational plates. Basically, turn this low vibrational plate into some fire. You know what I'm saying? So you got your low vibrational plate right there, and the food don't look good. The way you got your shit arranged it ain't hitting. You know what I'm saying? You got the ribs just ain't no tenderism on it. It ain't falling off the bone. You know what I'm saying? And you got these paper plates and these plastic forks, and you know what I'm saying? The Philosopher's Stone turns this low vibrational plate into steak and lobster, right? So put it like that, because we see in pictures, all right? That's the legend of alchemy, changing the state of a thing, changing the state of base metals and turning the base metals into a gold, right? So turning a low vibrational plate, the shit y'all be eating at the cookouts, turning the low vibrational plate into that fire. You know what I'm saying? Into how do I turn Carl's Jr. into crab legs? Right? You know what I'm saying? How do I turn McDonald's fries, right, into Houston's? So picture that, right? How do I turn Waffle House into Ocean Prime? That's alchemy. Being able to put a little tussin on that and change the state of it. Okay. You do the same thing with the emotions. Man, I am fucking jealous right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm fucking jealous right now. I'm insecure. You know what I'm saying? I am afraid. You know what I'm saying? I am angry. You know what I mean? I am resentful. Now, here's the thing. Here's a revelation that I have about inner alchemy. Those are valid feelings. We come to the planet to feel everything, but we want to transmute it though, right? So when you are angry, when you are jealous, right? You want to be honest about what that feels like. You want to sit with your jealousy. Man, what is it? You know, say it's a partner of yours. Is it, man, I'm jealous right now because somebody's playing with my toys? Is it you don't think you're good enough for them anymore? Is it you think they're leaving you? Is it, do you think that this man or woman can provide something that you can't? Right? What is it? You know what I mean? The feelings of insecurity, the feelings of imposter syndrome, right? You want to sit in the feeling because that is part of the shadow. You know what I'm saying? That's shadow work. You know what I mean? I used to dance and run away from those feelings. Nah, I don't want to feel that shit. Nah, man, I need to know. I need to know what I look like in fear. I need to know what I look like in anger. I need to be jealous sometimes, right? I need to feel that. You know what I mean? Is it because this other man is taller than me? Is it because this other man got more money than me? Is it because this other man is riding clean? You know what I'm saying? What is it? What is the jealousy? You know what I mean? And that gives me a good window into my shadow. It's okay to be weak sometimes in those feelings so you can study them. When you study them, right? When you study them, now you take them and you transmute them. You don't live there. So you don't live in the jealousy. You don't live in the anger. You don't live in the insecurities. Also, Also, it's very important that those insecure feelings, those low vibrational plates, it's very important that you have a way to push it out of you. Before you transmute it, it's important that you reflect light somewhere. So, a lot of us are carrying shit from relationships, from our moms, from our dads, from our partners, from our friends. We're carrying shit. You know what I mean? And this is coming from one of the greatest grudgers of all time. My grudge game, chef's kiss. My ability to grudge on an individual, I will grudge on a person for years and hang out with them too. Right? I will just ding your ass. Don't know where it came from. It was just part of my character. Right? Okay. The reason why I carried grudges for so many years is because I didn't tell the person or people how I felt. Right? So these feelings that we have, either you write music, you journal, uh, you play an instrument, before you transmute the low vibrational plate into lobster and steak, before you transmute the feeling, you have to reflect your negative light, right? You can't just hold that in. So I don't give a damn if the people in your life don't want to hear that shit and they don't got time for that. If you feel hurt by somebody, you have to say it because the body keeps score. Right? Don't just be like, I'm gonna chuck the deuces. Remember, the universe is mental, but the earth is emotional. Is it possible that the reason why that dog, when you walk by it, it try to bite your ass is because you're holding on to negative light when you need to talk about it? Is it possible that the reason why you can't get to goals and your vision board and no new opportunities are coming for you because you need to reflect the negative light outside of you? Is that possible? Is that possible? Right? Sure it is. Why when you walk by these dogs, they trying to take your head off? Right? Remember, they got different senses that they're picking up. You know what I mean? So you carrying grudges and you mad at people and you think, because that's how we taught, man, I'm gonna just keep it moving. Fuck these motherfuckers. That's how we taught. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't want to be a burden because everybody on the grind. So you don't want to put your feelings on it. Man, fuck that. Bro, you know how a motherfucker be slamming them spades on the table? Man, you gotta slam your emotions on the table. I don't give a fuck if you don't want to hear this shit. I'm not holding it in. Right? So you got to slam that motherfucker like a dominoes. You know what I'm saying? You got to slam that shit like you got the Joker in your hand. Listen, you hurt me. I need to say it. I'm not walking around grudges. For me, it's not for you. I don't care if you don't want to hear me. You hurt me. I've hurt people too. You know what I'm saying? Also, when a person reflects negative light to you and it's about you, you got to receive that, bro. Now, this is coming from a person where people try to bring me, I ain't trying to hear shit. Nigga, take it in blood, ho. What Auntie Tia say? I said what I said, pussy ass hoe. I'm gonna get my pussy ass hoe right. Fucking with her. Pussy ass hoe. You know what I'm saying? She be cussing. That's what I be thinking when people try to bring that shit to me. Can you pussy asshole? Fuck out of here. I ain't right. And my style was, I ain't hearing shit that you saying right now because at one other time I gave you this. Nah, man. That ain't righteous. Just because I did something for you before, it has nothing to do with what you're bringing to me. Right? I have to receive the negative light because it sets me free too, right? Because I can't be around here slicing and dicing like Mama Pain if we fuck with each other. You know what I'm saying? Because now I'm carrying around shit too, right? And because I didn't receive the negative light, I go and do it again. And now I do it again. And now I'm creating a character. You know what I'm saying? If you are in community or a team with people, you're going to rub up against each other. And I ain't talking about some freaky shit. That too, but you're gonna rub up against each other and just rock with a person for a long time. It's bound to happen, right? It's just when. So they should be able to say that you on some fuck shit. It doesn't mean you're not solid, right? The most solid men have been a fuck nigga sometimes. You acting like a bitch ass nigga. I don't care who you are. Tony Montana, my balls in my world, he smoked his partner. You know what I mean? We all be some suckers sometimes. It happens. Where you a sucker in your parenting, you a sucker in your relationship, you know what I mean? It happens. You know what I mean? So before you can change the state of the emotion, you have to get it out of you. You have to express it. You have to be authentic and say, in this very moment, I don't have the answers. In this very moment, I'm broke as hell. In this very moment, I feel hurt. I feel betrayed, right? In this very moment, I'm a mortal. I'm nothing but a mortal. You know what I mean? I'm scared. In this very moment, you know what I'm saying? I can do better. In this very moment, I have another expectation on myself. In this very moment, right? It's the same way as the negative confessions of Egypt. You know what I mean? I have not done this. I have not done that. That confession is ancient. You know what I mean? The concept of a confessional is ancient. It is a purging. It is a detox. Baby, I'm sorry. I'm not a good partner right now. I'm my bad. That's a confessional. I'm not a good dad right now. I don't have the answers. Fuck that. I don't want to be a dad right now. I don't want to be married right now. It's not you. I just don't. This is a lot of people too. I like being in a relationship with you. I just don't want to be in one at this moment. Talk to me 7 months from now. It's not you, right? That's a confessional. I don't have a problem with you. I just the only way that I'm gonna be able to kind of see the only way that I'm going to be able to do right by you is I have to step out of our dynamic so I can refuel, because all of my fuel has burnt out in our relationship. I am not done with you. I need to take a pit stop. That's a confessional. I don't have anything left for you. All right? Who wants to admit that? It does not say anything about who you are. We're only talking about right now. And it's important for us not to put paint where it ain't. We're only in the moment right now. What you need from me, I can't do because I don't have. I'm just not that person. Give me a second. I'm going to spin the block on you. I'm going to spin the block on you as a dad. I'm going to spin the block on you as a mom. I'm going to spin the block on you as a partner because I want to be here. I just don't have anything. You know what I'm saying? That's the confessional. I'm burnt out, baby. I gave all my love. I gave all my pussy. I gave you all my cock. I gave you all my money. I'm tired. Right? Now, if somebody says something like that to you, it's easier said than done, right? It's easier said than done, but you got to receive the negative light. because that's inner alchemy. Before you can change the low vibrational state, before you can change the feeling, you have to express it. Now, if you're in partnership with somebody, here's the friendship part, because it's very, you got, okay, so you got two ears. This one is the intimate relationship ear. This one is the friendship ear, right? When a person is doing a confessional with you, you have to listen to it with the friendship ear. Because if you listen to it with the relationship ear, you're going to punch them in the mouth. Because when you listen to it with the relationship ear, the only thing you could think, even though they're saying they're giving their confessional, the only thing you hear is, I don't want to be with you, you ugly, you fat, you stink. Right? They're not saying that. They're saying they need a relationship break, right? Not a breakup, but a break, right? To retool. You have to hear that with the friendship ear, because your friend is saying they're tired. You know what I mean? Your friend is saying to show up good in this relationship, I just need a break from it. You can't hear that with the intimate ear, because this is possession. This is jealousy. This is ownership. You need to be able to listen to it with this ear of, damn, that shit hurts. But okay, because you can't make it about you, right? I've heard things from this ear, right, that has sent me in rage. You know what I'm saying? That has put me in rage. So when a person is doing a confessional saying, I am not good enough to perform how you need me to perform in our relationship, you have to hear it through this ear, the ear of friendship, and try your best to not make it about you, right? But confessionals are a must in a relationship, because a confessional is very ancient. Where do you think the church got it from? They got it from Egypt. And they're like 42 negative confessions. I have not stolen. I have not robbed. I have not this, or I did this. I did that. You know what I mean? We all have to do a confessional with ourselves and with the people in our lives, right? You got to do a confessional with your children. Don't die and then people tell your babies a bunch of shit about you. Tell your children what you struggle with, right? Come to your children human, so they don't have you on a pedestal. You don't need to be on a pedestal to be somebody's parent. It's not about that. You don't need to show up like that, because some of the things that you struggle with, they're going to struggle with. And if they have you on a pedestal, they're not going to be able to get through some of the things you got through. Thank you for the super chat. I can't see who it is. Appreciate you. This is my blind eye, so I can't see. I just see the screen. I appreciate that. I don't whoever you are, my bad. I can't see. You have to have the confessional. When you have the confessional, now you're able. So what it does is, because these emotions are hard in our body, so the confessional kind of turns it into a liquid, right? And you can move it now. You can't transmute the emotion when it's hard. The only way you're going to get that emotion loose is through a confessional. Now, there are some people that they think they're having confessionals, but they're always spazzing on other people. You this, you motherfucker, that. They always in some shit, right? But they're never talking about themselves. How many people stand up and say, I failed as a mom? Being a mom is hard. That shit hard. You know what I'm saying? It's moms burying their sons all in Chicago, all throughout, right? It's okay that you stand up and be like, when it came to that, I couldn't get my babies out of this environment. I made it wrong. You know what I'm saying? You got men that's in jail, don't even know who their babies are. It is okay to say, as a father, I failed. I feel like shit. Man, that assignment to come to the planet to do, that wasn't my ministry. You need to say that. You need to have a confessional about that. And don't make it about anybody else. Maybe you did get touched as a child. Maybe you did. That's not how this shit works. It's about your behavior. I failed as a mom. I failed as a dad. I'm not monogamous. Sorry. You know what I mean? When I slept with that woman, it had nothing to do with you. Right? Oh, that's a good one. So when a person feels like they got cheated on, they're experiencing it through this ear, right? What is this ear over here? This ear is the ear of ownership, right? So when a person so-called cheats, they don't look at it from a perspective of, why did my friend do that? They look at it from the perspective of, why did my friend do that to me? You see? Because it's from this ear. Right? So when you're in a relationship, it's two things going on. You have to have a friendship ear. Okay. And then this is your intimate ear. So when a person so-called cheats on you, you're processing that shit through one ear. And you're processing from a perspective, how could they do that to me? But I'm telling you, in spiritual technology, you can't look at it like that. You can, but it's going to leave you at a certain kind of state. You can look at it like that, but you're not going to grow. And trust me, I get it. Like, you be in your baby feelings when somebody fuck on your peoples, especially if they fuck them good. You sick. Right? Why? Because you feel like somebody played with your toys. That's mine. That's my man. That's my girl. Right? So you can process it like that. You know what I'm saying? Of how could they do that to you? But remember, we have to develop something that the AI and artificial intelligence can't do. Right? So that jealousy and that boundary, it won't allow you to move through this shit. So you got to be lighter. I'm not saying you can't be angry if a person is lying in your face, right? But you have to turn your head and listen to it from this ear, right? So the better approach would be, I want to understand your decisions. Here's a question that most people will not ask. What is it about him or her? Why do you like them? Right? What is it about them that you like? The reason why you won't ask that question is because it's going to bring up insecurities, because you're going to process it as if they have something that you don't. But if we're all being honest, people in the world have shit we don't have. You can't have everything, yo. You just can't. Jay-Z got all the money. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. My nigga got a mug on him. He does. Rich as shit, though. You know what I mean? He don't got a good hair texture. I know that's some shallow shit to say, but he's a billionaire. Fuck it. I'm allowed to pick on him, right? Them is not fly dreads. You know what I'm saying? He got the money though. You can't have everything. You know what I'm saying? Beyonce kills the game. She don't look like a chick I want to hang with though. I'm sorry. She don't look cool. She doesn't look fun. She don't. You know what I'm saying? Cardi B, cool as hell. Do I want her to come to the school to read to the children? No, I don't. She's gonna fuck the words up. You can't have everything. You just can't. You know what I'm saying? I walk in rooms all the time and be like, man, this nigga tall as hell. I can't have everything, but my hair better than his though. You feel me? We all got our things. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gray yet, you know what I mean? And I'm in my 40s. You can't have everything. You know what I'm saying? So, but my point is, you see so many crash outs on social media. It's always over the same thing. Oh, cheating. Bro, listen. You have to use that as an opportunity to open up another conversation. I want to understand my partner better. No, my friend better, because that's how we started. When we were dating, we were friends. Remember that. When y'all were dating, shit was fun and it was funny. And y'all used to send memes and shit to each other. Right? How the hell are y'all going like this now? Who told y'all to have a relationship like that? Whose rules are y'all following? Y'all went from dating to fucking people watching and roasting people. Look at her butt. They're coming. How you go from people watching, roasting people, to now y'all don't even like each other? That's because you're caught up in this ear. And I know what it's like to be in one ear, to where your other ear of understanding and friendship and non-judgment and detachment and appreciation for your person's individuality, right? You can't remove that part. You know what I'm saying? So in order to transmute those emotions, you have to have a confession. You can journal entries as confessions. You can do confessions in your art, but you have to push the negative light out of you. That's shadow work, right? That's why judgment of others is a waste of time, because you're walking around with blockages in yourself from these emotional states. So if you're in a relationship, listen, I don't give a damn. You're gonna hear me. This is how I feel, right? I'm not blaming you. I'm not saying, this is how I feel. You know what I mean? And this is something that I had to learn, and we all have to learn. Even you, no matter how great you are, no matter how dope you are, you have the ability to hurt people. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're great at this shit right here, right? So it's always important to tap in with your peoples to get your report card, because you could be scarring your folks up, but you don't see it, especially if it's a person that got a good poker face. And this is all of us. You know what I mean? I be walking around like Edward Scissors hands and shit. I'm a bull in a china shop, right? No matter how dope I am, and I come with a lot. I come with a lot of energy. I'm an acquired taste. I do some dope shit very well. But at the same time, I'm Edward Scissorhands. So I'm cutting you up and shit. A lot of it is not on purpose. It's just who I am. The way I talk sometimes, I could be insensitive in what I'm saying. I can be dismissive sometimes with some things. You know what I mean? And it's my job to tap in and be like, hey, are we good? You know what I mean? Am I good? Is it my confessional, have I hurt you? I have to receive the answer. Do you feel like I've showed up for you? Right? And whatever they say back to me, I cannot change their answer. I can't be like, but what about this and what about that? No. You know what I mean? When a person gives you your report card, you did that shit. Because I was the master of reframing your story. No, I did not. You got to be a fucking psycho. That's why I'm saying that this period is about emotions, because you can't be logical, right? Because I'm a person, when people brought things to me that I did, I was listening to the story, and because I don't like what they're saying, I'm gonna reframe that shit. I'm gonna make you crazy. Cause no, what you said I did to you, no, I didn't. By the way, 2 years ago I did this for you. So how about that? That's fucked up. You know what I mean? So be honest about how you're feeling, push it out of you. The places that you push it to is your journal. The places that you push it to is your art. It's important for artists to create. If you are an artist, you must create, especially the artists. You cannot sit with this stuff in you. Artists have different antennas, right? You feel things, you see things that are not there. So you can't walk around not producing art. In a perfect world, you're getting paid and taken care of for all that shit. I don't care. If you take pictures, take pictures. If you sing, you need to sing. If you rap, you need to rap. If you blog, you need to blog. If you do poetry, if you do hair, whatever is your artistic expression, you need to channel your negative light and push it out. You cannot be bottled up in your emotions and then in your art. You're going to put yourself in a crazy house. You know what I'm saying? Artists must do art, even if it's horror. Even if the art that you're producing right now causes you to shave your fucking eyebrows off. You just be running around like this. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to go crazy. You do. You know what I mean? The highest form of spirituality sometimes is the loony bin. Because it's too much in your body. You know what I'm saying? So if you're an artist, you must create. Be honest about the feelings, push it out of you, and then have a confessional. Okay? So, shadow work is my thing, but what is shadow work? Shadow work is the psychological, according to like Carl Jung, the shadow work is the psychological process of exploring and integrating the unconscious parts of yourself that you've repressed, denied, or hidden, and often called the shadow self, to achieve greater self-awareness, healing, and wholeness. Repressed, denied, hidden. Repressed, denied, and hidden. What's some of the things we repress, we deny, and we hide? Our sexuality. That's a big one, especially when we talk about our lower self, right? Like when we talk about lower vibrations and lower self and stuff, we talk about it through the lens of religion. Like the lower self is bad. Don't you like chicken, nigga? That's the lower self. You got kids, right? You love your kids. Where did they come from? They came from your lower self, right? The planet is root chakra. You don't believe me? Look at all them dogs hunching. Look at all them predators eating, right? Look at the earthquakes. Look at the hurricane. This is a root chakra planet. Sex and violence. That's the planet. The planet, everything is fucking and killing. Eating. You know what I'm saying? Lions is eating buffalo. Niggas is eating pussy. It's eating shit. You know what I'm saying? Shit is getting ate. Bitches is getting ate. Animals is getting ate. Niggas is doing the killing. Lions is doing the killing. That's the planet. Sex and violence. We don't like that shit though, so we'll be like, oh, that's lower nature, and it's about being able to flow through all your chakras because they work all together. And it's about venue, and it's about where you're at. You're gonna walk around in your crown chakra all right, and somebody gonna deck you right in your fucking mouth and bring you right back down to your root chakra. You know what I mean? Crown chakra behavior is when we do our detox and we fast and we are, you know what I'm saying? We are coming all the way up through the body, and then we come to the crown, and then we're, you know what I'm saying? We're inspiration and we're getting downloads and shit. Like, that's what you go to the crown for, to get downloads, right? You don't be walking around in crown chakra. Yo, you cannot apply the ideal of blessed and highly favored like religion to the crown chakra. It's not the same. Crown chakra is not you having the Holy Ghost. That shit is just you coming from the base all the way up, right? To achieve personal perfection, to get downloads. So you fast, you detox the body, you push toxins out your body. That's a lot of meditation. That's a lot of breathing techniques, right? So you're coming all the way up the Kundalini energy. You know, I know about that shit, right? Just be acting like a nigga sometimes. But you know I know this stuff, right? So you come from the feet all through the spine. When we look on the medical symbol with that snake going through the staff, that is called the caduceus. That is the staff of Hermes, right? That serpent represents our spine. It also represents wisdom. In Eastern philosophy, chakras are Eastern philosophy. You know what I'm saying? Kundalini energy, that's Eastern philosophy. You know what I mean? Just if you didn't know where this stuff comes from, right? So the energy coming up through our spine and coming all the way here is for downloads. Okay? It's for downloads. But the shadow, we repress our sexuality, right? We repress a lot of our traumas is in our root chakra, right? Here's what people don't know. And even myself struggle with this. I thought that healing looked a certain type of way, right? Sometimes we think healing is sitting still. Sometimes we think healing is being celibate. It can mean that, but it doesn't always mean that. Sometimes fucking your brains out is part of your healing process. Sometimes indulging is part of your healing process. Healing does not all the way look like soft and love and light, and I'm not cursing right now, and that's religion. That's religion. That's religion. Do you know? Do you know it's healing in your kink? Do you know that? It's healing in your kinks. Do you know that? No, for real. Like, I'm just saying this, but do you know it's sometimes healing doing nasty, disgusting shit? Do you know that's also you know that, right? Okay. Because you might think that healing is, oh my God, I'm not dating. I'm need to sit still. It can mean that. But healing is not a monolith, right? Healing is not a monolith. Sometimes in our healing, it is about self-reflection. Sometimes it is about seeing each other, seeing ourselves. If you are a person that hasn't indulged, then your healing is indulging. If you are a person that is always indulging, then your healing is restraint. But you even have to balance those things back, balance to bring it, to give it good equilibrium. So our shadow is about integrating the unconscious parts of ourselves that we repressed, denied, hidden. So repressed is sexuality. What are some of the things that we've denied ourselves? If you Black, you come from the church, or you come from the conscious community, you come from poverty, you have denied splurging. You have allowed, you might have become a hater where you talk about what people could do with their money. You might be one of those people that was judging all the people that was on the line for the new Jordans and shit, right? You might have denied yourself materials. You might have denied yourself dating out of your race. You might have denied yourself certain things, and your denial oftentimes is not based on what you personally like. Your denial is based on what mama said, what daddy said, what culture said, what the church said, what gender said, what your peer group said, what rap music said. Your denial is not even based on yourself, because you're probably a curious person. So the things that you are denying has had an impact on you. Now it's in your shadow, and now it's creating resentment. Some of y'all women denying that. Let me stop. No, I need to say it. The spirit just moved them. Sis, if you really get down with dude, go ahead and ask for the 2-man. Every woman I talk to, every woman I talk to, I just can't find nobody to do it. Every woman I talk to, it ain't just men that like some 2 women. I just had to say that, because who else but me is going to say that? Every woman I talk to, most of the time is like, man, I would love to have 2 guys. You're denying yourself. I'm just saying, we're going into 2026. You know what I mean? Maybe you, not you, sis, but the majority of women that I've talked to would be definitely down with the worship experience like that with 2 brothers and all that. These men are going for what they know. I'm just saying. Have it your way, sis. Goddess shit, Lilith shit. No self-denial. So hidden in that self-denial in money, we deny pleasure, we denial knowledge, right? If you're a Christian, you never picked up a Quran. You know what I'm saying? If you are a Muslim, you never picked up a Bible. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. You came to the planet to experience everything. So why walk up out this motherfucker without doing the shit that you really want to do? It has an effect on the shadow, right? You ever see an older person that's very bouncy? You know what I'm saying? Like, how old are you? 55, and they skin look a certain kind of way, right? That is a person that has did what they want. Man, I knew a woman one time, my homeboy's mom, she used to drink Milwaukee's Best. And my homeboy used to be like, Mom, why you drink Milwaukee's Best? And she said, nigga, because I did my best in Milwaukee. I used to be like, God damn. Old lady. He used to be like, Mom, why you always drinking Milwaukee's Best? And she used to be like, nigga, because I did my best in Milwaukee, right? I'm saying that to say there's some older people that are very bouncy. Their skin look a certain type of way. They move a certain type of way. They have a certain kind of spirit. I'm here to tell you the reason why they feel like that is because they have no blockages. When you deny yourself for so long, you create blockages and your ass be 40 aging in dog years. Notice the people that say, I don't do this, I don't do this, I don't do this, I don't do this. No, ew, ew, ew. How do they look? Are they oftentimes beautiful? Keep it a buck. The most attractive people that I've seen, right? Men and women are people that do a lot of shit, right? They have a period of abundance and then it gets narrow the older they get. But there was a period of time where they indulged in life, whatever their things were, right? Everybody's things is specific. You know what I'm saying? I'm being playful and shit like that, but denials. You know what I'm saying? There is a link between being an old ass nigga and an old ass chick. It ain't just the calendar age, and it ain't just you don't have the money. It's your judgments. It's the things you really want to do that you're not doing for whatever reason, because of gender politics, because of racial politics, because of class politics. All those things intersect with each other. You know what I mean? I don't know how old I look to you, but I'm hanging on because there was a period in my life I was a wild boy and shit that I wanted to do. Oh, I did. Oh, I did. Oh, I got stories I ain't telling you, but just think about it. I did that shit. I had some hell of a nights. That shit has kept me young, right? Especially during the most difficult year of my life this year. The reason why I even survived it was because of my root chakra. Seriously. It was because my boundaries are flexible as hell depending on the situation. Where we getting in? What we doing? What we getting into? You know what I'm saying? When in Rome, you know, I deal with the spirit realm, so I'm not really attached to like the human realm. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for the super chat. I can't see, I just see the color, man. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. I can't see though. I genuinely can't see. I would have to put my face all the way to the screen, and you don't need, you know what I mean? My skin is looking nice right now. I put my face to the screen. I don't fuck around and have a black head. No, thank you. You know what I'm saying? That also, for the women that be confused if a man got a girl or not, do he got blackheads in his face? That's the indicator. What woman don't be digging in a nigga's face? That's gonna tell you. You don't have, men lie. Right? Men lie. You don't need to ask a man if he has a chick or not. You'll know. Look at his face. Look at his nails. Right? Look at his nails. And if he does have a chick and none of that shit be ever taken care of, that'll tell you what kind of bitch he is. You know what I'm saying? You don't ever have to ask a man, does he have a chick? Just look at his skin. Just look at his skin. I know when a woman is in love with me because she's digging in my face like, bro, just rah. So when I'm holeless and doleless and I ain't got no woman, you'll know what my woman status is by whatever's going on in my face. Because especially my nose, I got big features where a woman just puts her hands in my face and takes little tweezers and pulls shit and does things. And if you a dude, that's how you'll know if a chick like you or not. That's something small. It ain't if she's sleeping with you. It ain't nothing. If she do not go in your face, right? If she don't be like, let me see your hands and take a file and start doing little shit like that. See, that's like paying attention to detail kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody look at your nails and see they not done. Somebody look at your feet and see they not done. You know what I'm saying? Like you digging in somebody's face. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you'll know. That's how you'll know. Because I done got my nose squeezed so much over the years, just all this shit. But to me, that's an indicator. Don't ever ask a guy. So yes, the answer is yes. You know, he's a guy. Already assume that already. But you'll know where he's at. Look at his skin. Look at his skin. And then that'll also, if he does have a chick, that'll tell you where she at. You know what I'm saying? Look at his skin. Or that could just be me, where just people want to dig in my face and do my nails and do my feet. You know what I'm saying? See, like I said, everybody don't got everything. I ain't 6'6". You know what I'm saying? I don't got hazel eyes and shit like that. But the shadow is about what's hidden and what you're denying. And you want to integrate that shit. And you gotta be honest, yo. Some good homework for you is on the paper. Don't even think about it. Just write down all the shit you've been denying yourself and ask yourself why. Why haven't you done it? You know what I mean? Why haven't you done it? You know what I mean? If you are denying yourself, why? Is it based on the church? Is it based on some type of hardwired programming that you tricked yourself? Why haven't you went to the place? Right? What is your fear of money? Why haven't you got the car? Why haven't you talked to another ethnicity? Right? Why haven't you had the sexual experience? Whatever your thing is, why are you denying yourself? You know what I'm saying? Because it's showing up on you. You know what I mean? Resentment, man. Being bitter. Yo, man. Being bitter a lot of times is, I'm going to give you my definitions of success. This is a working definition that I just developed. Success to me is how many times can I remove the distance between me and the things that I desire? How many times can I do that over and over? That's my version of success. It's not a dollar amount or anything like that. Success to me is removing the distance between me and what I want to become or what I desire. Okay. So if I want a car and the car is $200,000, it's not the number. It's the distance between me and the number. The distance between me and the car. Because that's all it is. How do I remove the distance between me and that car? How do I remove the distance between me and that house? I want to be a homeowner. How do I remove the distance between me and that woman if I want her? My ability to do that in every single thing is my definition of success. Now, in removing the distance between me and the object, I might not get the thing, right? But we start like this, and I got all the way right here. I didn't get it. I'm still successful because the success is about the distance. What's the distance between me and a six pack? How many days is that? 6 months? What's the distance between me and the weight that I want to be? Right? Failure to me is not having the ability to bridge the gap between me and the things that I desire. So if it's like this from when I first start and it remains like this, that's a failure. If I get all the way right here and I don't get the thing, that's not a failure. Because the ideal is to remove the distance between me and the thing. Of course, I want to get the thing, but I might not. I might not. No matter how much I train, no matter how good I am, I might not get it because other people want that too. The thing is the distance, because the distance is where I'm going to be creating my new version of myself. Okay? What is the distance between you and the thing that you're denying? What's the distance between you and the thing? Right? Are you interested in removing the distance between you and the thing that you desire? Because the what is going to happen to you as you age is, if you allow so much distance between you and all of your desires and the thing, and now you're denying it because you can't get it, you are going to be a bitter man. You're going to be a bitter woman. You're going to be so angry. You're not going to be bouncy. You're not going to be fluid. You're going to be stuck. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have so many blockages. Go for it. Right? Because all that shit goes into your shadow. You know what I'm saying? You really want a relationship like that. Go for it. You really want to do the thing that you're like, I ain't tripping off that, but you are though. You are tripping off of it. Because where is it showing up? On your face, in your weight, in your body. You know what I'm saying? Just go for it. Remember, ideally, the goal is to get the thing, but it's really about the distance. I want to put in work to, right? Because this distance between me and that is me becoming. You know what I'm saying? Is me becoming. That's all it is about, is becoming. All right. Now that can be physical alchemy. Our real topic today is inner alchemy, but something like that, you and the distance between the thing, that is physical alchemy. So, why should you do shadow work? Why should you do shadow work? I'm going to be honest with you. There's really no good reason to do shadow work. I ain't going to hold you. This shit ugly, bro. Shit ugly, bro. I ain't going to hold you. It ain't sexy. You know what I'm saying? It ain't sexy. None of that. You know, it ain't something that you could post on IG, bro. You know what I mean? You going through your shadow work period is going to be a period like no other in your life. You know what I'm saying? But even though it's ugly, I'm going to give you 5 reasons to do the shadow work. All right? I'm going to give you 5 reasons. All right? Number 1, the first reason you should do shadow work is, even though it's ugly, even though I don't think it's for everybody, I really don't. I really don't think we should all do it. Some people need to just keep coming back to the earth. You know what I mean? Some people need to be cattle for the matrix, for the monster. This thing needs to eat, and I be on some hippie shit, but I understand the game. Some of these motherfuckers have to get fed to the thing. Because if we're all saved, how is it going to eat? You know what I mean? So the Matrix or Mammon or Yadaldabrov or the demiurge, the thing that that force that governs this planet, the appetite, it gotta feed on something. So let it feed on them. It's gonna feed on the people that are caught in life or death. I mean, caught and keep doing this shit over and over, right? When you go to court and you get sentenced to life in prison, you got a lifetime sentence. Why the hell would they give somebody that kind of number, right? What are they actually saying? Now, mind you, the judge has on a black robe, so he represents Saturn. These are wizards, right? You know what I mean? Why would you give somebody 500 years? Who's going to do that time? And remember, they sign their name on the paper. Something is feeding on that life force. So even when that body goes in the ground, that life force is something is feeding on that shit. Right? So when you're into Gnosticism and things like that, and you know about the ancient archons, and there's forces on this realm that feeds on energy, right? So even though shadow work is ugly, when you begin to do the shadow work, you begin to take your energy back because you you get more into the driver's seat of your humanity. But this thing on this planet, on this realm, it has to feed. Everybody cannot be saved, because then what is the entity going to eat? It's not going to eat itself. So let it eat Flavor Flav. You know what I'm saying? Let it eat Blueface. I'm looking for a golden retriever. Let it eat that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Does he look like he's at like? Let it eat him. You know what I'm saying? Let the force eat Flavor Flav. Let it eat Blueface. You know what I'm saying? Let it feed. You're gonna have to come to terms with this entity needs to eat some shit and be okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Be okay with that. That nigga looking for a golden retriever. Let the thing eat it. You know what I'm saying? Let it eat it. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people. Just let it eat. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I know you love Boosie. Let Boosie go over there and get 8. You know what I mean? Some of your faves is gonna get 8. Let the entity feed off that shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, for real, let it feed. You know what I mean? You might not like it. Let Future with all them goddamn babies get over there. Let the thing feed on it. I know that's your faves and shit, but damn, look, I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Let this thing gotta eat. You know what I mean? But the first reason you should do shadow work, because it's the process of the masters. That discovery, man, back in April when I started the peace walk and I walked through the darkness, man, it was so dark. And I'm crying and I'm going through my shit. I was so scared. I had never experienced dark like that. But what it did was it made me at home in any dark places. Like, there's sometimes where I'm driving and I'll just click the lights off and pull over. Like, I can sit anywhere in any dark. I can walk through a dark forest, right? Something happened. But I can also deal with the darkness in myself. So the process of the masters is the discovery of who you are in that dark ass space. You need to see that. You know what I mean? If you don't see nothing else, you need to see who you are in that darkness and what are you made of. That shit is going to tell you everything. Are you going to rise to the occasion? You know what I'm saying? And it's okay to be scared, because when I was walking through that dark and I'm crying, I'm scared as hell. Miles I'm walking with my damn feet messed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, and yo, I was okay in that moment if anything happened to me. If that was how I was gonna go out, all right. But I'm going out at this very moment being so courageous. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going out courageous, you know? I'm going out showing up for myself because I'm fucking scared. Right? I'm scared. So the first reason you should do shadow work is the process of the masters. Notice in all mystery schools, there's some type of initiation, right? You don't got to join no fraternity to go through an initiation. You can initiate your own self by going through the most darkest. That was my dark. You don't got to go do that. That was my shit. Whatever the darkest thing in your life is, and you walk through it. Now, mind you, you might be thinking of harming yourself. This might not be your most prettiest. You might don't got the answers. You might be slacking on your macking. You are totally woof, right? And those are honest feelings of wherever you are. And you scared and you insecure and your money's funny and your network is funny and you look funny, you feel funny. Yo, you got to go through that shit. And when you go through that shit and you go through that, when you go through that darkness, you have done something that very few people that have ever walked this planet have done. To face your fears? You crazy? Do you think your friends at work have faced their fears? Hmm? Do you think your favorite content creator has faced their fears? You think your favorite celebrity has faced their fears? Do you know? Do you know what kind of person you gotta be to face your fears? The darkness that's inside of you? The biggest ops on the planet tell you that women are the problem, tell you that men are the problem, the government is a problem. Notice everybody gives you an outward enemy. Oh, it's them. If they could just get their act together, maybe the world would be better. Right? No one ever talks about the dark that's in them. So the first reason that you should, I believe, to do shadow work is the discovery. What you discover in the darkest time and period of your life. What you discover. When I was doing that walk, I discovered that I was more than what I thought I was. And I made myself homeless. You know what I mean? I completely embarrassed myself, humiliated myself. I stripped down and had a fucking ego death. You know what I'm saying? Like, I looked nothing like I look now. I was rough. I didn't care. I wanted to transform into something else. I was done with that version of me, right? And it cost me. You know what I mean? It changed my life. Not for the better, not for the worse. It just changed. You know what I'm saying? But I needed to do that shit or I was going to die. I was going to die. That version of Ken was over. There was nowhere else to go. Right? And one of the things that'll trick you out of your shadow work is all the stuff that you have. I don't really have I know what shadow work cost me. So I don't accept excuses. Not for anybody that's saying they want enlightenment. Oh, you do? You can't say that to me. Because I got evidence of what I did when it was time to transform. I'm not accepting no bullshit. You can't tell me that. You're scared? Cool, me too. I was too. Right? But nothing. But nothing, you know? So if you are trying to do this path, you gotta get your peace walk on. It don't gotta be the shit that I did, but you gotta get your peace walk on. Everybody has a specific peace walk in their life. It doesn't have to be what I did, but you got a version that you gotta go get to. Your peace walk might be giving your babies to your mama so you can get your shit together. I know you don't want, of course. You know why that hits? Because you don't want to do that. Because you'll think you're such a failure. And what is everybody going to say? Why you don't got your kids? You can't help them right now. You can't help them right now. And that feeling of being a failure, yeah, that comes with it. Yeah, they might do a Facebook post and call you a bad mom. What you think they were saying to me? How could you leave your family? You so selfish. You so motherfuckers didn't care when I'm like, if I don't do this, I'm gonna die. So, but it's okay as long as I die in the house, right? Right? It's okay if I die as long as I die on the floor. That was my psych. That was me checking in to a facility or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But if you worried about what they're gonna say, what you think they said to me? It's people that still haven't talked to me. I didn't come out that situation a winner. Don't get it twisted. That shit cost me big time. But it's transformation, right? What I did in that moment set me up for something on the other side of it. But that's enlightenment. You're going to have an ego death. Pretty people become ugly people. People with money become poor people. People with stability lose it. You're going to go to the opposite end of what you are right now. The thing that's keeping you from enlightenment is your character, who you think you are, right? You have to burn that shit down so you can get out of logic and you can get into your heart. So the first reason you should do shadow work is the process, the discovery. The second reason is you're going to have to do the work eventually. Now, what I'm talking about, the entity and how it feeds, what the entity is feeding on is recycled energy. You don't have to do the shadow work in this life. You're going to have to do it eventually. You're going to have to do it eventually, or you're going to get trapped in the pain and the suffering of the earth realm. You're going to be constantly being born, die, come back. Born, die, come back. Born, die, come back. And each time you come back, it's a system in place. And all the systems in place no matter if you was born in Genghis Khan's period of time or if you are born in the year 3000, all the systems do the same thing, right? It oppresses your body. But here's the thing, as we move forward in technology, the system gets more sophisticated. It's going to suppress your emotions. It's going to suppress your inner world. For the last couple thousands of years, it's been body torture. It's been physical plantations. Now the new upgrade is the system is to come for your thoughts, come for your ideals. So when you keep coming back to the planet, you're going to be nothing but just a shell, and it's going to be feeding on you, right? The key is to break the chain of the cycle of keep coming back here over and over again, right? And you break it to the point where if you do come back, you come back to do a specific work, and the entity is not feeding on you. There's a way to be on the planet and the entity is not feeding on you. Number two, you have to do the work eventually. That's the second reason, because you have to. Eventually, you don't got to do it this go around. You could put it to the side, but you'll come back and do it again. There's people on the planet that the entity is not feeding on. There are some people that come here for strictly pleasure. Some of the people on this planet, there's a reason why they're rich. They came to the planet specifically for that. They have no restrictions and no limitations. You might not look at them as light beings. Oh, they are. They are. They don't know the pain and suffering that you and me may know. They don't know what it's like to send somebody commissary in jail. They don't know what it's like to have a crackhead mama. They don't know some of the shit that you and me been through. They came to the planet strictly to eat, spend money, travel, and they've been doing that their entire life. They are outside of the entity. They die like everybody else, but they don't live like everybody else. They control the entity. They have the entity on a leash like a dog. Like, there are people that come to the earth realm strictly to fuck and eat and smoke and drink and chill. Because this is the realm to do it. It's something about the way that the planet's vibration is that a spiritual entity can feel pleasure. It's something about our energy on this planet that, you know what I mean? You can have an orgasm. There are some light beings that come here for that. I'm telling you. There are some people on the planet that all they do is have a ball. Right? They make a lot of money, laugh, right? They don't have the concerns of everybody else. Right? There's a reason for that. You know what I mean? They remove the attachment between them and the entity, and they conquered, or not conquered, but they integrated their moon and the sun. Right? So the sun is our representative self, right? The sun, when we're in the sun, we smile and shit, and we don't want to. We laugh at jokes that are not funny. The sun represents the false world. You notice when the sun go down, all of a sudden you start hearing shit that you didn't hear, because during the day you got all this noise. You can't hear how the planet really sounds. When the sun goes down, you hear how the planet really sounds. All of a sudden you hear animals you never heard before. You hear sounds you never heard before. The sun represents the false self because the light blinds us, so we can't see. Okay? So that is us wearing masks. What Houdini say? The freaks come out at night. The moon represents the shadow. There's cults that are created based on the sun and the moon. You have solar cults, sun cults. What is Christianity is a sun cult. Jordan Maxwell taught that the moon was a, what did he say? Like a lot of Islamic practices was based on the moon, but the moon represents the shadow part of ourselves, and it's a lot of cults that are after the moon, and then you have cults that are designed based on the light. So the key is to merge both of those, the false self and the real self. Okay. So number 2, because you have to do the work eventually. Number 3, you build character. Hold on, this one is a clock it right here. Right? This one is a clock it. You build character in the loudest noise. When you are doing shadow work, the loudest noise you are ever going to hear in your life is silence. Darkness for the eyes, silence for the ears. Right? Darkness for the eyes, silence for the ears. Building character in the darkness. I'm sorry, in the loudest season of your life, which is silence. Yo, let me tell you something. That silence is so loud when you are doing shadow work. When nobody's around, bro, you be really like fucking scared because the silence is so loud. You can't believe that something can be so loud, but it's not no bongos going off. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no Meg going off. It ain't no Glow going off. You know what I mean? It ain't no Beyonce going off. You know what I mean? It's silent. And to who you are in that silence, to feel that shit'll drive you crazy. When you in prison and they put you in a hole, what is the stimulus? Darkness for the eyes, silence for the ear. You can't hear shit, can't see shit. It'll drive you crazy. See, we are used to sounds all the time. When have you really ever heard it silent? You know what I'm saying? No cars going by, no nothing. But the silence of the shadow is the loudest sound you ever gonna hear, bro. It's quiet in there, but it's noisy. You know what I mean? You build character there. You got to learn to sit in the silence. You got to learn to sit in your own silence, yo. That shit is scary. What does that look like? Your phone is dry. You know what I mean? You might not be all in people's face. You might not be all outside. You might not be all in the videos dancing. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to come to death row. You know what I mean? That silence will make you not do the work. Yo, do you know a lot of people get into relationships because the silence is too loud? You can't sit with yourself. It's people that get married because of that. It's people that have babies because of the silence. You know what I mean? You got people that jump into relationships because it's too loud, the silence. You don't want to sit in that dark. It's too loud. Only thing the silence gonna help you do is hear yourself. Only thing the darkness gonna do is help you see yourself. That's it. You're gonna hear yourself. You're gonna see yourself. And that shit is so scary. There is nothing more scarier than your own shadow? Number 4, you learn that monsters are not real. Go back to the video where I was walking in the dark. I was saying monsters aren't real. Monsters aren't real. Monsters aren't real. I'm the monster. This whole time, I'm 41 years old, and I thought monsters was real. Now, monsters that I thought was real was my mom. You know what I mean? The white man. I thought the white man was the master. The monster. I thought America was the monster. You know what I mean? I thought everything was the monster. But then you find out that the monster is really you. You're the monster. The most horrifying thing you're ever going to discover is you. You are Godzilla. You are the Loch Ness Monster. You are all those horror movies. It's you. It's inside of you. When you do the shadow work, you realize monsters aren't real, yo. That shit is just in my heart. It's me. How do you know that you're the monster? I can prove it to you. Every time you create a vision board, what keeps you from it is something inside of you that scares you. The monster is scaring you. The monster of your vision board, you're projecting, right? So you see your vision board bigger than what it is. You see your health getting in front of your health bigger than what it is. I know I did. This time, same last year, I was obese. I was overweight, right? I looked at what was going on with me as a monster. I don't want to face that. That's how you know the monster's in you. Because look at the shit you don't want to face. It's a projection. You're projecting the monster onto the things that you need to do for yourself. And it's scary. That's procrastination. I don't want to do that shit. That shit scares me. That's the monster. There is no other monster. What has really scared you in your life besides your own procrastination, besides your own vision board, besides the possibility of what you can do with your life and what you can become? What is more scarier than that? That's why you haven't done it. That's why there's certain things I haven't done. I had space and time to do it because of fear. The monster that I'm projecting onto the thing is huge. The monster that's in me that I'm projecting is scaring the shit out of me. It looks like Welvin. I can't go to my vision board because it looks like Welvin. It looks like Welvin face. Y'all don't know Welvin? Remember the dude that used to say "got him" and his teeth used to be all crazy? You know what I'm saying? He had a mug on him. That's what my vision board and shit be looking like. It be looking like Welvin. And I look over at my vision board and I'll be looking at the shit that I need to do and I'll be about to do it. And I see his face and I'll be like, fuck no. I ain't going over there. Hell to the no. You know what I'm saying? When I was super overweight last year, you know what I mean? And I'm like, man, I'm going to the gym. You know what I mean? I'm changing my life. And the damn treadmill looked like Welvin with his mouth open and his teeth all fucked up like that. Straight up. I'm projecting. You know what I'm saying? I'm projecting. Everywhere I look, I'm projecting my monster onto the thing. The monster is me. You know what I'm saying? The monster is me. It's me. You know what I'm saying? Monsters aren't real. The reason why you can't get to the thing that you're trying to get to, you're projecting the shit in you onto onto the vision board, onto the goal, onto the art. And what you're seeing is a monster. You know what I'm saying? What you're seeing is a monster. I've had so many things that I wanted to do, and I'm like, what's keeping me from it? Because every time I look at it, it looks like Sean and Marlon Wayne in White Chicks. I'm like, ooh, fuck no. You know what I'm saying? Good plans, right? Then I gotta adjust my eyes, like, wait the fuck. And it's Sean and Marlon in White Chicks, and I'm like, fuck no. Hell no. No. And they doing the little sounds and the shit like that. I'm like, man, fuck it. I'm just gonna be a failure. I'm not fucking with that. You know what I mean? Number 5, the fifth reason why you activate, or excuse me, the fifth reason to do shadow work, activate courage. Courage, man. The thing about courage, when you are being courageous, it hits like that because it wasn't there. Courage is something that comes because you're scared. You know what I mean? You're scared and you do the thing. Being brave and courageous is different, right? A lot of brave people are dumb, stupid. Like, I took penitentiary chances. That shit was brave. That shit wasn't courageous. It was brave of me. All being brave is having balls. Like, yeah, you brave as hell, right? That shit don't be well thought out though, right? You can be on a dummy mission and be brave. It's just that you'll do the thing. A brave person is a crash out too. Courage is something different. Courage is I am so scared, terrified, and you build something in you to do that shit. That's that inner alchemy. That's that turning fear, change in the state. You know what I'm saying? You change the state. You know what I'm saying? Courage. Courage is different, man. Courage hits different because you were once scared and you did the thing. Courage and bravery is not the same. You know what I mean? Courage is, oh my God, I don't want to be here. Courage is you tired of running. You tired of not trying. You tired of coming up small. It's so hard to be courageous because you're pushing past your own history. You're pushing past your own fear. You are changing a state. That's inner alchemy. Courage is an emotion. To be courageous, you were once a coward. You turned that low metal, that's the philosopher's stone, the vibrational plate, you turned that into another state that you can use, right? That's why a courageous person is a dangerous person because you used to be scared. You used to be scared. When the person, when the person that used to be scared becomes courageous, they're dangerous. They're dangerous. Because the process of the inner alchemy of changing that cowardice, that fear of the thing, into now you are showing up every single day, you're dangerous. Because what happens when that person that did that does that for everything? So they just start going down the whole list of their life of things that scares them the most. That's the fifth reason. Shadow work is the real you, right? It's not the real me. I'm not my hair. I'm not my jacket. I'm not this room. I'm not a car. I'm not my body. Shadow work is the real me. It's the me that you don't see. Shadow work is your shadow is the you that I don't see. That's the real you, right? Fall in love with that shit. Even if it has a little deviancy in it, even if it has a little jealousy in it, even if it has a little possessiveness in it. Whatever the thing is in your shadow, integrate it. Don't keep compressing it. Don't keep suppressing it. Don't keep running from it, right? Don't keep labeling it a negative. It's a part of you. It's who you are. You got to have a conversation and get to know it, right? You got to bring it out of you and bring it to the forefront. Until you deal with your shadow, you'll never be fully in the driver's seat, right? Until you deal with your shadow, you'll never know who you really are. Until you deal with your shadow, you'll never have knowledge of yourself. Appreciate any cash apps, any super chats. If you want to put something on the wood for the bars, go ahead. Appreciate you in advance. And I want to let you know that when it comes to battle, when it comes to war, that's a mental thing. Now, I know the universe is mental and the earth is emotional, but the real battle is mind versus mind, not fist versus fist. But as we move forward, the battle has morphed into something different. It's heart versus heart now, right? Heart versus heart. Whoever navigates with the heart is the winner. Much success to you, even if you wish me the opposite. Sooner or later, we'll all see who the prophet is.